Good morning. Welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. I'm Bowtie David. We live in Destin, Florida's now Zone 9B. It's a beautiful April morning out here. Looking across the front yard, you can probably see we have a bit of a trimming mess off here to your right side of the screen. A lot of palm fronds over there, but a lot of things are growing in the garden as expected. It is April in Florida. We've had a lot of beautiful days of weather, and this is the beginning of the April 2024 front and side garden tours. Now, this is exciting to me because this marks the beginning of year 3 of these tours. Where every single month I log what's going on in the garden and kind of get an idea of the progress that's happening. It's my log to know, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but no, it's my log, my own personal log. I look back at these videos a lot to see what's happened so I can know in the future what I need to do when, how much things will progress, just my own personal log. And so one of the biggest things about today, though, last few months, we've been waiting and seeing on everything. Okay, I'm not going to touch that because I want to wait and see. Well, trust me, folks, wait and see is over, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Coming up very soon will be the 2 parts of the backyard garden tour, the outer beds in the backyard, and then the raised beds in the backyard, and there's things going on back there. So be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube if you have not already, so you don't miss a thing. Videos come out here on YouTube first. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, those videos sometimes will get up there as quick as a week or 2, and could be as much as a couple of months. A lot of noises going around. We are in a living neighborhood. Airplanes flying over. We have 4 air bases, a couple of airports near us, and a heliport, so you hear all kinds of traffic all around us. We do live on a relatively quiet street, which is nice. For those of you who have subscribed, you are my heroes, and I am so excited that you're part of the people that have just offered your vote for your confidence in the development of our monthly garden tours and everything else that I document going on in the garden. So you have made Bowtie Life what it is today, and I appreciate it. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. Like I said, lots of airport traffic. Okay, so we have tools. Like I said, we are finished with the wait and see. I think I have waited long enough, and I'm pretty confident that I see what's going to survive and what's going to not survive. We do have a couple of deaths, at least one I can think of. I think there's 2 deaths in the area that we're going to cover in this part of the garden tours. You do see I have my loppers, which are in desperate need of cleaning. I have my hand trimmers, which are in desperate need of cleaning. I have my saw, which is in desperate need of cleaning, but at least the blade's sharp. But anyway, we'll have to get that taken care of. I do want to point out that the hand trimmers and loppers are bypass cutters, and let me just show you the difference in bypass and anvil cutters. So the term bypass or anvil cutters can refer to both loppers like these, the large loppers, or hand trimmers like this. What you'll see is on this anvil trimmer, the blade just pushes directly against the anvil. And what happens here is when you use these, it crushes the wood. So this is actually good for if you're cutting dead wood. If it doesn't matter if you crush the wood, but if you're cutting live wood, you want to come through here and use a bypass. Now, the reason why I have this anvil cutter is because I didn't know any better however many years ago it was that I bought this. It's been a very long time, at least 10 years, and I think it's probably closer to 15 or 20 years since I bought these. And I didn't know much about gardening then, but this here, notice the blade. Okay, so it still has an anvil right here. This is an anvil. You can see it has a flat surface right there. And this is the blade, and the blade bypasses, see if I can do this with one hand. The blade bypasses the anvil. Now what happens here is this side will crush the stuff, and this side you normally put against the stuff you're cutting off, but this side over here will not crush the wood. It will simply slice through it and save any wood or woody material or plant material that's on this side, just slicing through it. Now I have sharpened this, so it is pretty good and sharp, but that's the difference between a bypass and an anvil. So there you go. I'm going to be carrying these around with me today as we do the garden tour. There'll be a few chops here and there. I'll just plop the camera on the tripod, do a couple of chops here and there, and we'll be moving on. We've got 1, 2, I think there's more than 2 things that I'm going to be chopping here in the front yard, but it might just, no. Yeah, there's a few things that we're going to be chopping here in the front yard. And I remember what the others are. But as usual, we start over here in the, let's start with the map of the property here. We took this wonderful map of the property and we use this to kind of show you here in the corner where we are with this red icon that shows the camera and the direction it's looking. And you can see where on the property we are. Now folks, we don't have a huge property. Everything you're seeing in these 3 parts is on a 100 by 106 quarter-acre property, and we live in the heart of Old Destin, and the property sizes here are pretty nice. There are newer houses that have smaller and smaller properties, which is just heartbreaking, to be honest. Some of the properties we looked at before we bought this 2.5 years ago were disheartening at best, and we kind of were very discouraged for a very long time, but we have made the best of this. And excuse my cue sheet out of the way there. There's a little bit of a breeze here, which feels really nice. Hopefully it's not going to mess up the sound at all, but it's beautiful out here. So let's get on with the garden tour. We start in the corner over here of the property. That is the southeast corner of the property where the zombie wood chip pile is, and this thing has not changed much in the past month, but it's right here in front of the strawberry patch. And the strawberry patch, let's talk about this. So this pile, or this patch over here has been like this for 2.5 years, where I pretty much let it grow wild through here, and we actually get some strawberries, not many. You can see here's one that's kind of looked a little ugly. They kind of get themselves eaten by insects, by pests or whatnot. This one here is not going to look much better than that. They do taste good. Well, that one wasn't as great as some, but boy, it's got some sugar in it. And so problem has happened that this kind of got itself overcrowded, killed out a lot of itself as far as the strawberry plants. And I am moving to this type of development. Now, notice the difference on the strawberries on this area over here. These strawberries look beautiful. They really look beautiful. This one here, this is just kind of very typical for here. Oh my goodness, world of difference. We've picked a lot off of just this section of 24 plants. We picked a lot of strawberries. In fact, we've picked maybe half the strawberries we've picked out of here were off of this 24 plants in this little area. So ultimately what I want to do here is I want to convert the whole bed into this. We'll continue this on. Be a total of, I think, 50 plants on this one strip. There'll be it's 14 foot long. There'll be another strip just like it across here, and then another strip very similar to it up to that pomegranate tree right there. And so I am really pleased with the way they don't seem to be get eaten by pests nearly as much. It's very cool. So I'm looking forward to getting more of this done. That's part of what the zombie wood chip pile will be going to, because the soil under here is about 75% of our horse muck compost and about 25%, maybe 80-20, something like that, of that very composted wood chip pile over there. So what I want to point out, there has been comments about, oh, you can't use that horse muck because, well, frankly, let me just show you. This is the horse muck I have been getting for years now. We're on year 3 of getting this horse muck. This horse muck has been sitting, in fact, this particular stuff sat in a mountain outside the stables for 2 years. And you can see there's a lot of wood chip, and people look at that and say, oh, you can't use all that wood chip. Here's the problem, folks. This stuff has been sitting for 2 years. All the nitrogen that these wood chips supposedly lock up is already locked up in these. In fact, if I take one of these wood chips and crumble it up, it is really crumbly. And so people say, oh, you're going to lose all your nitrogen. And of course, nitrogen is what makes leaves green. So look again at these strawberries that have been growing for several months in the horse muck compost. I'm sorry, there's 22 plants. This horse muck compost, it is growing in about, I don't know, 6-8 inches of that stuff. Look how brown they look. They look terrible. They don't green up like they would if they had the nitrogen. Okay, I'm being facetious, folks. These things are the greenest things I got in my garden, growing in the horse muck compost, folks. So, yeah, it doesn't work. Look back a couple of years at our bean plants, which are very susceptible to nasty stuff in compost. We had a wall of bean plants. We're going to have it again this year. Just a little bit later, you're going to see our sugar snap peas. And they're kind of green, folks, and they're growing in several inches of horse muck compost. So the myth about this stuff I'm getting not being good for the garden is busted. Frankly, everything growing in here is in about 8 to 10 inches of horse muck from 2 years ago, another 8 to 10 inches, no, probably about 6 inches last year, and then another, however much this is, 6 or 8 inches of horse muck compost. Same exact stuff, folks. Same exact stuff. Nothing's going to grow green in there. That's what people keep telling me, and I'm telling you that it does. It does grow green. It grows wonderfully. Thank you very much. So that's the strawberry patch, and there are a lot of other things in here that are beautiful, and I really like the wildflower look, and I let these wildflowers grow as much as I can. I see there's something going to seed over there. I don't know what it is, but yeah, so I do like this horse muck compost. Last thing I'm going to say about it. No, I'm going to say one more little thing a little bit later. Of course, we have our pomegranate tree here that looks gorgeous, and it's going to be, in fact, it's already started putting on several flowers up at the top. That is the one pomegranate tree left here. I may end up planting another pomegranate back in this corner. The rosemary, of course, is gorgeous. It gets sun all day and it loves it. One thing that is going to have to come out, of course, is the 2 jalapeno plants, and they are looking done. They are looking absolutely done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just cut them out. So I'm just going to come in here with the loppers, with the anvil to the dead stuff, and to be honest, this thing, full disclosure, this thing is probably completely dead, but I'm going to do it anyway, where the anvil is up to the stuff that I'm cutting off. I don't think anything is going to come of this, but I'm going to cut it off right here near the base. Oh, it is so dead. That was crunchy. I'll end up planting another jalapeno plant in here. Same thing over here. Let me turn the camera a little bit. Same exact thing. So I ended up pulling a lot of grass and clover out of this one here. When I cut that, it actually felt pretty good. There might still be some good wood in there. I can't really tell if that's living. I don't think that it is, but I'm gonna give this thing a little more chance. I pulled back some of the grass out of here, and I'll probably do more of that, but let's see what happens here. I'm not planting a jalapeno in here anytime soon, so it's not like I'm pressed for time. So, of course, our chocolate mint. You watch these chocolate mint bags in my property, they kind of go nuts. They do slow down the squirrels in the area, along with all the little red painted rocks that I have in here, over 300 of them. And they still get occasional strawberries, but it doesn't bother me. We have more than we need, but I do see growing in these cups, by the way. The only reason why they're in cups, the plants are in cups, is because they will be planted in the fabric once I get it laid out. Oh my goodness. That thing is beautiful. So coming back over here, the plumeria. Yeah, I believe the plumeria is done for toast. Up here, these tops are kind of flopping over, looking really bad. It's kind of shriveled up down to here. I don't believe it's going to come up again. However, there is a dry point down here. And so I am going to let this have every last chance that it can have. This may still be alive. This may still have root life. I'm not sure. So we'll just have to see what happens here. I do know this thing is rooted underneath the pot. And if this is one of those plants that I've been considering, should I lop it off and just be done with it? Or should I give it any more chance? And until I can learn how to take care of these more tropical plants through the winter a lot better, I'm not putting it in the ground, and we'll just leave it in this pot. This might be the place it gets planted. It might not be. I don't know. So seeing as we are truly in spring now, we've changed our decor a little bit to reflect spring. These mums have still not bloomed. I thought they were on the verge of it last time. They did not bloom yet. They're getting ready to. Just keeping an eye on them. They will be blooming and looking pretty very soon. The hedges is what I look at next, and of course they are trimmed. Yes, I trimmed them. There are ivies and vines in there. This is a vine that's growing out of a tuber underground, and I will typically follow those, use my hori, get that tuber out and solve this problem once and for all if I'm going to get to it. So yeah, there's lots of these ivies growing out since I trimmed the hedges. So the bird feeder is, of course, full. It's about half full right now. And we do get birds and even a rat or two. Oh, Lordy. The bird bath is clean. I got the pressure washer out. In fact, you can see that fence over there. It's all clean. The bird bath is clean. You'll see the north side of our house is clean. I'm very excited to finally have clean sides of our house. There goes a butterfly. Looks like a, what is that one? Oh, I don't know what that is. So anyway, we're in the upper pollinator bed. And we have a ton, and I mean a ton, of zinnias coming out. Look at that. These are smaller zinnias. They are beautiful. And they are just popping out everywhere. I planted out literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seeds through here. Plus, they've been seeding themselves through here. And all these zinnias are just ready to explode everywhere. There's a zinnia there, zinnia there. Now, these are little pepper plants in here. No, that's not a zinnia. All these little tiny things growing right here, those are all zinnia. And I think you'll hear some more zinnia that are getting ready to come up. So yeah, we have tons and tons of zinnia. I just have to keep up with these. Okay, I know. I call them pepper trees. That's not what they are. They're a trash tree in this area because they get annoying, obnoxious, drop lots of garbage, and don't do any good for anybody in this region. Maybe in your region they're great. here they are not. So I do kind of try to keep these things sort of weeded. There's 2 more zinnias right there. That's just awesome. And of course we have our amaryllis over here. And this is the amaryllis we had last year. This thing is getting ready to shoot up and start blooming. Now this thing here is brand new. Look at that beauty. So I was looking down at one of the neighbors' houses and they had these beautiful amaryllis and they were out in the yard, and I said, oh my goodness, next fall, can I possibly get some of those bulbs off? They had a bunch of them. Can I possibly get some of those bulbs off you? Well, I got home. They were just a few doors down. I got home, and about 20 minutes later, her and her herd of daughters were at my front door with a big handful of amaryllis. And so I put them right in the ground. This thing's already had 5 blooms. This is the 6th bloom off of this top here. And we have another one coming up here with 3 now and 2 more to come. And this is also one of those new ones. And over here, look at this one, another beautiful amaryllis. So I'm so excited to have a new strain. However, I did notice just now, I didn't even see this till just now. So this is the new one right here, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other ones back here. And these are from the little bunch that were sitting right here, and I broke them up into 5 other plants in a video called Breaking Up is Hard to Do. And so these things are looking gorgeous. In fact, 6. There's 6 here. I didn't think that this one was going to make it, and obviously it is. So amaryllis are looking gorgeous out here. The Thai plants are not looking that great, but I think they still will be coming back. We'll just have to see. And yeah, I can't see any growth at the base of any of these Thai plants. That's interesting. So I'm going to end up cutting off the tops of all these, and we'll have to see what kind of growth. Since I'm done with the wait and see, I am done with it. Folks, I'm done, okay? Tired of waiting and seeing. I want to see stuff happening. So we're getting these things cut off right now. And there they go. Yeehaw. I'm just going to chop and drop. I actually chop and dropped all the brush here next to the hedges. There's a lot of brown leaves down here. These were just chop and drop hedges, and I'm going to just throw these in the same area to the side. Okay, so these Thai plants have surprised me every year we've had them. This will be year 3. And look at this guy right here. I just cut that off, but look what's growing right next to it. So this one is coming back. And I expect that the other 4 plants will come back as well. There are 4 plants I just cut off low there. So we'll just have to see how those go. Oh, bird feeder is less full than I thought, so I'll have to address that later. I do want to show the spiderwort over here. This flower is a weed in our yard. We have a lot of these, but I love them. They are purple, and I let them go whenever I am able. They grow in the yard, and they grow fast, and I'll let them grow, but they get mowed, and they'll come back. These that are in the flower beds, you'll see another one here in a little bit that's in a bed somewhere, and I just let them go. They're just a beautiful little flower. We like to focus on the purple and yellow, and I mean, look at that flower. Purple and yellow, exactly what we look for. So spiderwort, it's a beautiful little plant. It's a weed, yep, I know. So that's the back pollinator bed. Coming around here to the front pollinator bed, of course, another bag of mint. I love my mint. And we come around here, look at this yarrow. This yarrow is looking beautiful. I have this beautiful pink is just exploding everywhere. And I'm looking here, there's been insects on them. I don't see any right now. I was hoping for video, we'd have some. We have another yarrow right here that's getting ready to bloom, and it's just very exciting to see that. I did plant a lot of zinnias in here, and you can see right here, this is zinnia. They're just everywhere. They're all coming up all over the place. Little zinnias popping up everywhere. I do need to get in here and start pulling out some of the dollar weed, and it'll happen. I have started to clear out some of whatever this low ground cover is here. I kind of want to see it flower and see if it comes out to anything, but that brings us, well, first off to our Egyptian walking onion. You'll notice they are all forming bulbules. They're starting to get these little clusters of bulbs about a foot off the ground, and these will grow heavier until they touch the ground, and next year make a brand new plant. And of course, one of my neighbors, you can hear his serenading us with a nice heavy beat. So, like I said, we live in a real neighborhood. So yeah, that brings us to this right here, and you can see, anybody remember what this is? It's my one toxic plant that I am having mercy with. It is the angel trumpet plant. And if you look under here, now we had 2 branches come out, and this thing was very impressive. And you look under here, we have 2 new branches. There's one right here, and then there's another one over here. So 2 new branches coming out of here. I think we're going to pretty much repeat what we had last year. And so these branches here, I'm going to cut off, I don't know, 8 inches up from the ground and just leave them. I was looking at what someone else had done with theirs, and that's exactly what, oh, this is not angel trumpet, is it? This leaf is different. Well, okay, I looked it up, and my app is insisting this is the same thing as what we had growing. All right, well, I guess I'll just let it grow. I may have actually 3 branches. There's another, this one here. Don't those leaves look different? They really do. I'm a little confused. Maybe this is not Brugmansia. I don't know. Now I'm really confused. But I am going to chop these 2 off. I ended up cutting it a little lower just because I had room down there. So I was afraid of damaging the existing plants, and I gotta watch this because those leaves look quite a bit different from each other, but they're growing in the same way, so I'm gonna presume, I don't know. One thing I did want to point out is this little unassuming purple flower with these green leaves, and I'm not sure what it is. Blatila striata, I think, is what I've got identified, which is some kind of Chinese ground orchid. Now, this thing has a story. About 2 or 3 years ago, I was helping a friend out pressure washing her house, and she had a big bush of this growing. And remember, we're looking for purple flowers in our garden. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Can I get a cutting? Well, it never happened. And it was about a year later, she actually brought me this pot, or no, a cutting wrapped in paper towel of this and the Wandering Jew. You might remember from previous months garden tours on the side garden, we had these things in little pots. It was the same little Wandering Jew that's back there now that's going to be planted somewhere out here. But yeah, so this is a beautiful little purple flower and plant. I think it is a Chinese ground orchid. If you know differently, please tell me. I want to know. So yes, we are going to be putting this in the ground right here. I left it here to see if it would thrive. It has absolutely thrived right here. We're under the tree. In fact, we're going to talk about the trees here in just a little bit. But from here, we're going to go over there to, what is that? The Green Globe Artichoke patch. So first things first, of course, is our Perkins fig, and I just call it the Perkins fig. That is not an official brand. It is some kind of a fig that grows very nicely here. A friend of ours had about a 30-foot tree of this. I trimmed off a bunch of things, took cuttings. This is one rooted from one of the cuttings. It is almost the very first thing we planted on our property when we bought it. There are 3 main branches coming out, one to the southwest, one to the southeast, and one sort of to the northwest, and kind of creating a bit of a goblet shape. And they made some of those pre-season figs that are no longer there. They have all fallen off. We saw them in last month's video, and I actually heard what they're called, and of course I cannot remember right now, but we are anxiously waiting development of new figs, which should not be happening for another month or 2. So we will just keep our regular watch on this beautiful fig tree till it starts producing for us. And I'm a little concerned that it's underneath this edge of the sycamore tree, but I'm hoping that it has just enough sunlight to thrive. And over here, of course, we have an amaryllis buried in here. And I realized I need to clear out some weeds down here, don't I? Hopefully get this amaryllis. There's a big bulb. Oh, that bulb has completely failed. Okay, that's new. But there are other bulbs here. I need to try to get these things growing up. This does get irrigated once every 4 days. There's a lot of dollarweed around here. Someone, Jim, recently told me that all that dollarweed may mean you're being over-irrigated. And I'm on sand. I'm irrigating for 45 minutes every 4 days. Is it possible that that's over-irrigating? I don't think so. And we discussed it, and neither of us were sure. So if anyone else is a pro on this, let me know, because, very strange. Yeah, there's another bulb right there that feels pretty good. And, of course, there's a bulb right there that's coming out. There's a bunch of amaryllis bulbs. This is our original amaryllis in here. And see, if I had done a better job keeping this clear, we probably would have less trouble with it. So I will be breaking up those bulbs next year a little better. So just to the left here, I do want to point out we have somewhere over here, we have a yarrow. That little fuzzy thing right in there, that's a yarrow that I did plant on purpose. And miracle of miracles. Now this is our artichoke bed, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artichoke plants. We lost one. There's a stub over there that I'm convinced is dead. I had planted another one right here in the edge of this shadow, and look, it had gone and disappeared, and now it is back again. So I don't know if this thing will thrive or not, but these things are stubborn. They don't seem to want to die. Very interesting. I've never grown green globe artichokes. Folks, I'm new at all this. I'm not a pro here. I'm learning. I'm just experimenting. We're entering into my 5th year of gardening and experimenting, and you can obviously tell I do need to clear out some around these artichokes a little bit better, because I haven't tended to this bed in a while. Okay. Oh, I just discovered something down here. Oh, we have thyme growing right here. I thought I had something else growing down here. We have a small thyme plant struggling to get through all these grasses and weeds. And I completely forgot. See, this is why you always do your tags, folks. Got to do your tags, because I would have lost this thing and completely forgot. Oh, look. Now, thyme will creep across the ground, make itself into a ground cover, and keep rooting in everywhere. So I'm kind of excited about this little plant, and I want to try to get it to survive. Oops, see, I'm pulling too much here. Oh, look at that. See, that thing is trying to root in right there. It's going to grow more plants, and this thing will spread. This is the kind of ground cover I want. Give me some herbs, people. Let's grow those herbs. Beneficial. Oh, I can smell it. That's funny. Completely forgot it was here. So yeah, I've got to come back in here and keep this good. Like I said, I haven't addressed this bed at all in a very long time. So it's doing some interesting stuff though, because look, there's roots coming out of these branches, and it's trying to root in again. So that is very cool. Give this thing every chance we can to start spreading. Okay, so if I stand up and try not to hit the windmill. Oh, look at this lizard up here. I gotta zoom in. The lizard sitting up here just sleeping. No, he's not sleeping, but he's watching. Let's see if I can get it focused better. He's just sitting there watching me, enjoying the sun. That's hilarious. I love my lizards. I know some people don't like them. I'm trying to zoom back out now, folks. Okay, there we go. He is just sitting there underneath that windmill blade. That is funny. Some people don't like them. I know. I like wildlife, okay? I just enjoy it. Another yarrow. This thing is getting ready to bloom everywhere, which is exciting. This orange bell pepper. Wait and see. We see. You are out of here, Bubba. Yeah, this isn't coming back. So it's gone. So the very last thing up here in the artichoke region is, of course, our sunchoke beds. And I did dig up to show somebody recently what the sunchokes look like, the roots, and they are starting to sprout. They are starting to come up. So we are going to have, these are all sunchokes here. They're getting ready to just be prolific again this year. There's a little bit of grasses in this one. This is the one of the two that did not get harvested this year, which I say didn't get harvested. We had as much as we wanted out of it. We didn't really touch it. I know this pot right here has had nothing done to it. I'm gonna let it go. This one here is the one we put in new this season. So we'll see what comes of that. And of course, it's April 6th, of course. I don't think I told you what date this is. The sycamore tree is in full leaf. It is beautiful. It still has a lot of the balls left on it, which is dropping slowly. The, what is this, crepe myrtle is looking beautiful. It's almost fully leafed. We did have to cut out this side for the road. The city came by and had a nice visit, and they did exactly what I wanted. And leaves a lot up there that's going to be turning color. I wish we had could have left a little more right up here on the top, but it is getting a little out of hand. If I had taken control of this a little better, I would have had better coverage up there. Still some of the persistent berries from last year up in those trees, which the birds have been eating, but there's just a tiny bit left. And as they leaf out, the birds will continue eating them. Yes, our trimmings, the forever gone pear tree. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So this is the only thing I've been doing with this pear tree. This thing yesterday was covered with little things like this, and everywhere. In fact, if I look here close enough, might see a new one already come out. But about once a week, I come out here and I just pop those things off, toss them aside. Looking up, yep, sure. See right here. There's one right there. Little tiny ones. I'll let them grow longer than that normally. It doesn't bother me. Pop those off. Eventually, I'll come off with the chainsaw and cut this at the ground and let those roots rot. Our cedar tree over here is doing its normal thing. And of course, now we have the date palm, the last of the trees to update. And we have at least 2 flushes of flowers coming up. And I think 3. There's one right up in here, and there's one over here to the left that are just about to split open. And I think we've got another one in the back that you can't see. So one of these days I've got to do another harvest of these, and I will be doing a video when I do that, of course. Okay, so we got our focus fixed. Not sure how long that was bad. It's really sunny out here. I can't see. So that takes us to the top 2 of the 5 tier beds. The other 3 have not been built yet. And these are our sugar snap peas and garlic on the outside, which apparently cannot be grown together. Think about it, folks. These cannot be grown together. I didn't realize it when I planted them, but garlic actually looks pretty good. This is the Enchilium red up here. It's a soft neck garlic. This is the Chestnut red, which is a hard neck garlic, and I'm looking for scapes on these, and I don't see any scapes yet. They will produce scapes though. This in the middle is our sugar snow peas, these really brown, dead looking plants that are growing in about 6 inches of our horse muck compost. Yes, I know, I'm being facetious. These things are delicious. Not as good as our mammoth melting sugar snow pea, but I'm enjoying them nevertheless. There are tons of them in here. I harvested this on Wednesday. This, of course, is Saturday. There are tons of them in here. I harvested a pound on Wednesday. So very crunchy, very tasty, beautiful green, growing in horse muck compost, just as beautiful and thick and rich as they can. This is about as high as they grow. At least this is as high as I've ever had them grow. So it is kind of a shaded area right now because of the sycamore tree, the American sycamore, and that may harm the extreme growth a little bit. I'm not sure. It is kind of thick in there. These are the seeds from 2023. Those are the seeds from 2022. I planted actually more of the 2022 seeds, but that side is thinner. Wait, was that 2021 and 2022? I think it's 2021 and 2022. But we're still going to get plenty. Just throw those seeds in the ground, people. Don't throw them away. Try them out. Looky here. This is another one of those spiderworts that I just let grow. I love that it's growing out of these bricks right here. This is just so cool. It's a beautiful little flower. Look how many more there are going to be. This thing is just going to keep flowering. I do like these spiderworts. With the beds, the other 3 beds that are going to be in here, I'm afraid one of them is going to end up being a flower bed. I don't know. We'll have to see. Past another spiderwort that'll get mowed just because it's in the middle of the yard. Eventually it'll get mowed. We have another yarrow. This thing just has never done well, but it is finally giving us a flower shoot. Now it is being laid on by, of course, the asparagus, and it's going a little nuts over here. But we enjoyed several asparagus shoots from this. These are probably officially year 2 growing. It's the 3rd year, so we did pick a few off of this. They were delicious. Kind of got away from us, so I'm not too worried about it. Let it grow again. This winter, I'm going to hopefully be putting in a lot more asparagus plants here in the asparagus patch. And of course the amaryllis. This is the final set of amaryllis from my neighbor. Looking beautiful. Are those not amazing? Look at those. I saw them growing in their yard, and they have a lot of them. And I just thought they were just incredibly beautiful. We still have our original amaryllis growing right here, and at least one bulb is still surviving down there. And of course we have a jalapeno pepper here, looking kind of dismal, and I don't think we're going to get anything out of this year. So, yeah, my old clippers here. Away it goes. Now that beetle right there is a favorite of a lizard. If I had a lizard around here somewhere, I would toss it to him. So on the back side of the sugar snap peas, I did forget to show you, I have a kale plant, and looky over here, I have a cauliflower. And this last cauliflower, I need to tie these leaves up, but I want this thing to bloom. I'm gonna leave this thing, I'm not gonna harvest it. I want my only cauliflower that I saved to bloom. Very excited about that. I have beyond here, I have a few onions. And now the sugar snap peas growing right next to the onions. I did research. I see people say you can't grow these things together, but I don't know. They seem to be doing something together. I have kept this a little cleared back of the dollar weed. Not so much the dichondra if I can help it, but I do clear it a little bit. Another bag of chocolate mint, and our pile of remaining horse muck compost. I do want to get one more trailer load. Jack and Anna, if you're listening, let me know if y'all want some, because that may determine how much sooner I get it. So past that, the now dead, still mourning that, the now dead pink grapefruit tree that I was so excited to have froze. Notice, nice clean fence. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? And oh, if I turn past the grapevine, the north side of the house looks beautiful as well. I did get the pressure washer out. We are in April, of course. The grapes are starting to shoot leaves out everywhere. I mean, just crazy. These long shoots are appearing everywhere, over a foot long, and I'm just trying to keep them trained into the plant. That's a little too short still to train it into the arbor, I mean, but I'm trying to wind these into the arbor whenever I can, keep them going, and this arbor will be covered eventually. Very excited about that. A lot of grow bags back here. That big pile, that mountain of grow bags around that dead tree, it's gonna be for potatoes. So those potatoes are looking particularly chitty. That's C-H-I-T-T-Y. They chit, get these growths on them, and we will be planting them in these bags once we pour all the soil out, supplement it, yada, yada, yada. We'll get video of that out. Of course, we have several bags of carrots in here that we're still harvesting from. These things, some of these are actually getting pretty big. They are delicious. Looky there, Mrs. Bowtie gets a bucket of the, or a tub of these every once in a while. And there's 2 more bags of them over there. Try to not to move so fast so I don't make anyone dizzy. There is, what is that? That looks like mountain, what I'm calling mountain mint. I'm not sure what kind of mint it is, but it came from the mountains of Arkansas. These are loquat trees. I still have 8 loquat trees. If anybody local wants one, let me know. A lot of dead pepper plants through here that just didn't make the cut this year. And of course, our one mentioned earlier, Wandering Jew, that we'll be planting out somewhere this year. We do have a couple of citronella left. I want to try to get some more cuttings started and try to get these going more. So yeah, citronella, and of course our dandelions. I need to cut these back before my neighbors revolt and cut them back for me harder than I want to. They are going to seed. That's a little bit too much. Oops. Sorry, neighbors. Carrots are so good. Can you tell what we're looking at now? Anyone who follows along, these are our blueberries, people. And we got a lot of them in here. Look at all the blueberries. Blueberries everywhere. Tons and tons of blueberries. Some of them are just starting to change color from green. These are not a very large variety of blueberry, but it is certainly going to be prolific. We will start harvesting these pretty soon. About a 25-foot deep patch, about 25 foot wide. In any count, the bees have done their job and pollinated profusely. These things will continue swelling up until they're ready. So there's the progress in the front and side gardens, and there's some good stuff happening. We're getting ready for things to even more to happen with all the growing and chirping of the birds and everything else. Thank you for following along today. Again, those who have subscribed to Bowtie Life on YouTube, you're my heroes. You've helped make Bowtie Life what it is today. And we are working hard to grow our channel to the next level. And once we do that, once we can get to the next level, of course, we'll be able to do a lot more. For those of you just finding Bowtie Life for the first time, this is my own personal journal. Everything going on in the garden. With my ADD brain, I've tried journaling, I've tried photography, I've tried the little logging apps to record progress in the garden, and these videos really speak to my unique brain. And so I will watch these and figure out what I did last year or the year before and know. So here we are in year 3. We have started officially year number 3 of the video tours for the garden, and I am just so excited. So be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube so you can not miss a thing that happens in the garden as I document all the important events here and share our life. Another way you can help grow the channel is to click the thumbs up on this video and share it on social media with your friends who might be excited about getting their garden started for the new year. Have a blessed day.